Right there. I just saw it again.
Right there.
Yep. See him.
I spent 3 days in the woods with a group of people looking for Bigfoot.
We're just hearing something out there mumbling.
Must have been behind the tree.
I'm not sure what I expected,
I am so freaked out right now, dude.
but it certainly wasn't to have strange encounters actually happen to several people,
Here it comes. Here it comes.
including me.
What is that?
That's weird.
Honestly, that was the most incredible night I've ever had out in the woods.
A while back, I was invited to a campout with a group of Bigfooters. My friend Matt brought more than 24 people together from all across the East Coast.
I mean, there's people from Ohio and New York and Bumfuck.
We were camped in a wildlife corridor in Central Florida, a narrow strip of wilderness that runs through the center of the state.
It is a choke point, and if there are Bigfoot swamp apes in Florida, I think I figured it out that they have to move through here.
Dozens of Bigfoot sightings have been reported within 20 miles of this area since the 1970s and 80s.
Well, a lot of people's had stuff happen to them out there.
Oh, wow.
Like 35 years ago when we grew up around in this area and hung out and stuff, there was nothing but woods out here. There wasn't no houses, Publix wasn't there. This was all woods.
That first day of the campout, I set out to meet some of the others. As I expected, many of them have had strange, unexplained encounters in the past. Like Brian, whose encounter happened in 2006 while he was camping in northern New Hampshire.
The campsite we had was right at the bend of kind of like a river, like a fast-flowing brook. It was such a nice location because it was us on the corner. Over that river, just woods. There was nothing else. So at night, it was nice and quiet. I can't fall asleep in a tent. It's just I toss, turn, I can't get comfortable. So that second night, I'm almost getting mad because I can't fall asleep in the tent. I'm listening to the water. I'm listening to the crickets. I'm trying to focus on something that'll help me go to sleep. And all of a sudden, I hear this impression start grazing across the tent. I see the impression at above the door. I catch the indentions of digits, of fingertips, just grazing across. And I'm like, who is this jerk messing with me and my family in the middle of the night? I thought it was like a drunk camper. So I'm about to get up to unzip and open up the tent and be like, what the hell are you doing? As soon as it was done, going across the tent with his hands, all the way across, side to side, I hear this breath. It was an exhale, a deep exhale. And it went from a growl to a grunt. And when it growled to the grunt, it vibrated. It vibrated my body. And I just dropped. I put the pillow over my head. I was so confused. After that grunt, it went dead silent. It was dead silent to where I was like, holy shit, what animal can do that? It was the vibration that confused me. It wasn't a loud, it was the depth. It was the depth and the vibration. I'm like, a vibration from a vocal is what baffled me. What the hell could do that?
Brian's story is fascinating. Not only did he see and hear something that he can't explain, but he also felt it. I imagine an experience like he described would leave a lasting impression on anyone. As the sun began to set that first night, everyone prepared to head out into the woods, wondering what mysteries the night ahead held for us. We split up into several groups. The group I joined traveled due east along one of the trails, hoping to meet up with Mike and Christian, who were planning to explore the area to the northeast.
The trail got decimated by a tree.
Oh, wow.
See that, Erik, right there? See that big tree?
Oh, yeah, no shit.
Yeah, so we know obviously a Squatch pushed it over. I mean, come on. There's nothing else that would do that. Just kidding.
While we were having a fairly ordinary night in the woods, Mike and Christian were having a very different experience.
Oh, shit, right there.
I see it.
Right there.
I see it.
I lost him.
They heard mysterious sounds and saw the eyes of some unknown animal reflecting their flashlights in a strange way.
Holy shit. That was super creepy, dude. Did you see the way their eyes were moving?
No.
I don't even know how to describe it. It looked alien. They were like peeking behind trees, bobbing up and down. The woods are coming alive right now.
I'm like not moving this from my eye. This thermal.
Tell me real quick. Talk to me about what is going on. Right there.
Right there. I just saw it again.
Right there.
Yep. See him.
Did you get that on therm?
No, I don't have it recording. No,
Fuck.
I'm just gonna leave it recording.
Yeah, leave it recording.
Unfortunately, Mike and Christian weren't recording on the thermal camera they had with them. But they did capture the moment they came across something else they couldn't explain.
Oh my God. What did we just walk into?
Oh, dude. It smells horrible.
What? Describe what you're smelling right now.
Dude,
We just walked into...
it smells like old cheese that's been sitting inside of like a sweaty shoe.
This is like super Bigfoot. That's what happens when you encounter like Bigfoot stuff. Like you get a wall of stink. I've never walked into a wall of stink.
Are you serious?
Like that. I swear to God. I gotta call Alex, dude. Right now.
I was standing right next to Alex when he got the call.
Listen, so we just walked into a wall of stink. The smell was so bad, dude, it would gag you. So we thought it was this feeder station that we were at. Looks like it's a deer feeder. We walk about 50 feet over. The smell disappears. We walk back over to this feeder station where this wall of stink is. It's gone, dude.
What?
It's gone. Try to make your way over here again. We're gonna hang tight, dude.
Yeah,
This place is alive, bro.
Sounds good. We're coming over there now.
When we got to Mike and Christian, they were excited to share what they experienced.
Right when this trail intersects back towards this field, him and I came across what sounded like somebody walking in the woods right beside us. It's really thick scrub.
Yeah.
Bunch of quail took off, and when it sounded like a dude walking in the bushes, and we heard as it was walking away, it just sounded like mumbling, like somebody off in the distance, like having a conversation.
It wasn't that far. It was probably
it was
like
literally
like
100 feet from us.
Yeah.
And it was
If
loud. We just walked into a wall of stink. If you guys get over here, you got to come check this out.
Yeah.
You got to smell this for yourself.
The mumbling they described was interesting. That, combined with the horrible smell they were taking us to experience, had my curiosity soaring.
It's going to get so bad. Now, the funny thing is, it comes and it goes. Yeah. We went back to the the food station, and we didn't smell anything.
Is it there right here?
Yeah, come over here, right beside this. Smell it. Here it is, right here. It moves. You smell it?
Yeah. Comes and goes though.
It comes and goes.
Yeah, it's actually not as bad right here
No.
as it was 5 feet back there.
But it was, the cloud was like right here.
Yeah, you guys
and
walked
then,
right past
and
it.
then
yeah.
we left, the smell dissipated. We came back to right here, and then it was nothing.
The odor was strange and pungent. It had a bit of a familiar smell that I couldn't quite put my finger on, but want to describe as rotting hay. The easy answer to the smell's origins is that it came from the game feeder. I've been around quite a few game feeders and never once experienced a smell like that. And as Mike described, it would come in waves. One minute there was nothing, then suddenly we were pummeled by the foul stench.
Here it comes, here it comes. Oh, God. God, that stinks. What is that?
That's fucking weird.
Dude, is that not fun? I am so glad I did not, they're gonna think we're crazy. Now, you guys just walked through here, and that was not here.
No.
When you just walked through here. It's coming like in, oh shit, yeah, here it is, here it is.
Yeah, just not real bad again.
But you didn't smell it when you came through here the first time.
Not this bad.
Not this bad. It moves.
That's weird.
We've had a wild night, man. Like, I'm not kidding you. Like, this has been the wildest night I've ever had in the woods as far as like activity goes. I'm not talking about.
Shows there's a ton of fucking creatures.
And I'm not talking about big. No, I'm just talking about just unknown.
The putrid smell, combined with the strange mumbling Mike and Christian heard earlier in the night, were definitely bizarre, and not things that I had an easy explanation for. The following morning, Mike Hughes shared what he and Christian experienced.
But last night was, honestly, that was the most incredible night I've ever had out in the woods.
Most in the group found it interesting, but thought it was only evidence that there was a lot of known wildlife in the area.
It's not at all that I didn't believe you guys. It's just that one of the things I do is try and figure out what else.
I'm not even sure I believe me.
Well, you second guess.
The strange smells several of us experienced and the mumbling were quietly dismissed as a misidentification of something ordinary.
We tend to think we know everything in the Bigfoot world, so when I heard their story, I thought that's really cool, but I don't think it's a Bigfoot. I think you heard ibises, because they mentioned, wings flapping and then a mumbling and all this, just this compilation of things that happened.
Ibises do make a low guttural sound, but I wouldn't describe the recordings I've heard as mumbling. Throughout the second day, people shared more stories on Bigfoot, but mostly everyone was eager just to get back into the woods. This time, the plan was to have as much of the wildlife corridor covered as possible. So if Bigfoot is in the area, hopefully someone will see it. 12 teams of 2 would sit for several hours, watching and listening. They set out in all directions, one group in a tree stand, others on the ground in the surrounding fields and woods. That second night, one of the groups had some unexplained encounters out in the field. I caught up with them the next morning to hear all about it.
We were on the very last trail you could be on in this conservation area. So we were right on the edge.
And we just sat and listened and got really, really bored.
After sitting for at least an hour, Brian and Max heard something that caught their attention.
On and off, we're just hearing this faint, what we thought was a bird.
These birds are the birds that I thought filled the description of the people the previous night's experience. So we sit there and whatever it is, flock of birds or whatever, seems to be coming kind of closer and closer. And it's a mumbling. We're not hearing any bird, we're just hearing something out there, kind of moving around, just kind of shuffling through those palmettos and mumbling. No more what we thought was the bird sound.
It sounded like a frustrated vocal, a frustrated tone in the mumbling, to where it was like an intelligence to it.
Understandably, they were stunned by what they heard. I imagine for Brian it must have been especially intriguing, mimicking his first Bigfoot experience, which also began with an unexplained sound.
And within a few minutes, that noise is now really close to us, and we start to hear a higher pitched version coming from behind us. We decided to go look for this thing and kind of walk around.
Their plan was to loop around the outer trail and eventually meet up with Alex and Mike at the tree stand.
So we're walking. All of a sudden, the mumbling gets louder.
With the strange mumbling sound starting up again, Max decided to use an app on his phone that identifies bird sounds.
So he hits it, the sound goes, comes back Homo sapien. So I went from, all right, let's see what kind of bird it is, let's see what kind of, to what? Really? And I'm like, really? And it was just, of course you get thinking, I'm like, like the guys heard the mumbling last night, and now we're hearing the mumbling.
While Brian and Max were pursuing the mumbling sound, Alex was monitoring the field with his thermal camera from a tree stand over 1,000 feet away.
He has pictures of something else in the field on the thermal, and we're moving and he can see our lights.
One thing I saw that was interesting was an unknown thermal hit to the left of me. Something just kind of moving in the tall grass. I don't know, maybe pig-sized. It was so quick and faint, couldn't really tell very much of what it was.
Max and Brian continued on, driven on by this new information from Alex and the identification from the bird app.
So as we're moving, there's about a 3-foot embankment with a tree about that size. And as we're passing it, something just runs, just bolts for about 5 seconds and then stops.
It only went far enough to get out of our line of vision, just out of our sight. I was thinking, oh, maybe this is a hog, or maybe it's Bigfoot, in which case I'm scared of either one. We can hear it still it's almost like, going from side to side back there. You can hear something moving, but it's not really going anywhere. As we're trying to decide what we should do, the mumbling starts again.
That next day, several of us went with them to the final location where they heard the strange activity, looking for any evidence of what might have caused it.
We were probably about this far.
Yeah, we were just talking.
So, that was to be right there.
Wow, you were really close.
Oh yeah,
and all of a sudden there's
Yep, the first thing he did was pull his knife, and I'm trying to get my knife.
And it was right at this tree here.
It was right. It must have been behind the tree.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
And it, I don't want to say it was strategically located, but if it was behind the tree, it was kind of close to the tree. And if you look, it looks like there's something's been through here. And it looks like something's been through here up to about this high. Could have been a big hog, but.
We could see a clear path through the shrubs behind the tree, but no indication of what it might have been that they heard the night before. What do you think it might have been?
It was something that makes noise in the bushes. And that's all. I completely inconclusive. So got a chance to talk to the people who experienced a very similar thing the night before, and they weren't ready to call it Bigfoot either. But they imitated the exact same noise.
The way Brian and Max's experience parallels some of what Mike and Christian experienced the first night is certainly curious. Combined with the bird app identifying the sound as Homo sapien and all the other activity, including the strange smell which I myself experienced, it certainly gets the imagination going. I've spent a lot of time in the woods in my life. Up until this point, I've never really encountered anything that I didn't have an easy explanation for. Admittedly, I'm not from Florida. Perhaps someone more familiar with the woods down there would be able to easily explain the strange things that several people experienced during this campout. But the proposed answers I've heard from people so far don't have me completely convinced that they're the right ones. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, check out some of my other videos which cover a wide variety of subjects. If you want to keep up with what I'm working on, head over to my website and sign up for my newsletter.